Let's go to the BAM article. Expired listings are a gold mine. This is off of a Lisa Chinati 5 a.m. call where she recently called this gold mine opportunity for agents. Time to take advantage of it as we head into 2023. It's the expired listings. Okay, so Lisa said at the end of the year, it's prime time for expired listings in her market. Okay, so in her MLS, in the market she serves, she's in Massachusetts and she doesn't serve the entire state. So just her market,
Right.
there's a total of 7,000 listings that have expired or will expire in that like end of December,
30 days.
beginning of January timeframe. This means there are more than 7,000 sellers, Lisa says, who have raised their hands and said that they are ready, willing, and able to sell their home. 7,000 sellers who maybe got spooked by the volatility of the market or maybe chose an agent who didn't have the skill to price the listings properly, or maybe who couldn't sell because they couldn't buy with a home sale contingency in the ultra competitive market this year. I'll actually add to Lisa's comments there. Or maybe they hired an agent who couldn't expose it to the most people possible in today's market, didn't have the skill set to do that either. So January, huge opportunity. So what can you do right now? We'll go through her 5 tips for this, Nicole, and then we'll talk about the importance of putting this into your business right now. Number 1, do your research. Okay, so you can spend some time. Listen, Mojo can do this for you. There's plenty of other sources that you can do. I used to just use the old, what's it called? White Pages online?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, it was the White Pages.
The White Pages. Number 2, practice your scripts with a role play partner. Absolutely. Get real good at having this roll off your tongue. Use a script as an a la carte menu and get really good delivering it. That's how the great expired cold callers make their money. They get real confident in the things that they're saying over the phone. By the way, Nicole, tomorrow,
I
4
was
to 6
waiting.
p.m.,
I was waiting.
4 to 6 p.m.,
Gotta.
the cold call, live call session. Myself, Tom Toole, Danny Deals, Dan O'Neill. We're going to be making live calls for 2 hours.
2 hours. So for 2 hours, we sit and we watch you guys do that.
Oh my goodness. It's just one after another.
I like it.
This is get your popcorn ready. Get your
Is there like a
script out,
competition,
take
like to
some
see who can
notes.
get the most appointments?
I mean, come on.
I had to
Of
ask.
course,
And then
of course.
I'm assuming you
Okay.
guys are all calling within your own markets, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, within our market. All right, so number 3, hone your skills, okay? So, actually doing it,
Yep.
like we're gonna be doing tomorrow, and you guys are welcome to join us. There's a link below to sign up for that. Put together some marketing materials, and then get your listing presentation ready. Make sure that you're confident in the presentation. That's actually gonna make you confident on the call itself if you know that you're going in there to crush that appointment. Okay, so how important, Nicole, are expireds right now? And why do some agents hate this gold mine?
Well, I think I think our biggest problem that we're up against at this point right now is there's a majority of agents that have never dealt with an expired listing, right? I mean, how many homes have actually expired probably within the last Why are you raising your hand?
That brings opportunity, but go ahead.
Well, no, for sure, but I'm just saying, I think a lot of people maybe haven't been practicing this skill set. They haven't, gone
right.
back to, again, we always talk about Lee on our team who loves expireds, and I think he's been waiting for this week probably the last 2 years because he knows his expired call. He knows his script, and he'll certainly rise to the occasion over the agents that have just been sort of sitting there, running their Zillow script the last 2 years.
Well, I have a story about Lee. You want me to share it now?
The one that we already know?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
All right. So here's an agent. Here's a story about an agent who, like Nicole said, this agent was brought up in real estate on expired listings, loves going after listings, doesn't really love the buy side of the business. So is in love with listings, knows how to generate them, and was brought up in the business on expireds.
Yep.
Was talking to this agent the other day. Okay. So Lee says to me, I said, hey, there's over 1,000 expired listings in the MLS right now. You got your pencil sharpened? Is your game tight? Are you locked in? Are you going for it? He's like, yeah, well, Yeah, well, my last two listings, these are beauty listings, really hard situations, hard. So getting I'm like, that means you're closer to a good one.
Right.
Lee, like, remember, there's gold in these listings. One of the best listings that I ever signed in my life. I've still to this day, Nicole, never
Yeah.
met the seller. It was two phone calls before I got the listing, the initial call and a follow up call. This was a $2.5 million listing. We ended up working the price and closing it at about the 2 million mark. Never met the seller, never had to go into the living room and do a listing pitch, was
Right.
out of the area, did everything on that second phone call. And so there's gold coming when you continue to make calls.
Right.
You can't, this is where agents make the biggest mistake when it comes to cold calls and expired listings. They think their last call is going to be the next call.
Right.
The next call's a new, fresh opportunity. You've got to keep digging through to find the gold. And by the way, finding the gold doesn't cost you 35%. It
Right.
doesn't cost you 25%. There's not a big referral fee attached to it. It's your work, it's your effort, it's moving forward and making enough conversations, creating the relationships in your community where people have, like Lisa said, raised their hand, want to sell, and had a bad experience. This is the biggest opportunity in the market in January, and it doesn't last to this scale throughout the year. Are there expireds all year long?
Of
Yes,
course.
but not to this scale.
So did he make his calls and get an easy one?
I sure hope so. I
Oh
mean, I
boy, that
I
was it.
sure
It was
hope
so
so.
anticlimactic that I thought it was going to be,
Well,
and then
I just had to remind him
yeah.
that
Well, and
there is
he's our
new
number one expired
opportunities.
lover too. So it's actually interesting to hear him
Well, we're
deciding to
gonna
drag his feet a little bit there.
in racket number 2, we're gonna talk about the part-time, full-time agent. There's an
Yeah.
article that we're gonna be talking about, and this is a hard business, Nicole. I'm
Oh,
gonna talk about it more in the next topic,
for sure.
but you can get, especially December of 22, that was a hard month on a lot of agents. So you can get down on yourself pretty quick, but you've got to remember that the next opportunity, the next person I can help, the next conversation I can help somebody else. It can help me long into the future where I can't see. I've got to keep moving. I got to have this mindset. That's a professional salesperson mindset, is continuing to go brick by brick, one foot in front of the other, getting better every single day. All that kind of stuff really matters in sales when you care about your community, when you care about your business. So, I think agents tend to not like expireds when they focus on one bad experience. What else? What other reasons, Nicole, do agents? You mentioned lack of experience, so they may shy away from the phones just based
For
off of not
sure.
practicing,
Yeah.
not knowing what to say,
100%.
not being confident in it. Why else are agents shying away from expireds?
Again, I feel like that's I think that's the main reason that they are. I think that it is boiling down to experience, confidence, and feeling as though they could actually add value. I mean, again, I think where maybe they're nervous the most too is that these sellers are now experienced too. So they're probably and hopefully going to be asking a few harder questions. They're going to be a little bit, harder of a nut to crack. But again, I remember man, I mean, so much of my career, it was always like, you want to be the third agent. You want to be the third agent. Like, you want to be the third agent on the deal. And even this,
You're saying you want to be, and because Nicole, let's just back up here.
yeah,
Nicole started in 2009, 2010
yeah,
timeframe. I started in 2012, both started in Connecticut. And there was this saying, and it was often true because there was so much inventory.
yeah.
There was so much time on market. Homes were sitting on the market forever. You wanted to be not the third agent into
Not a
the
listing appointment.
appointment, but the third
Third,
agent to
listing the
list
prop.
the home.
Yes, you want to be the third agent. Yeah.
And so
Um,
expires, you're automatically at least number 2.
Yeah. So I feel like you're in a much better spot here. And again, and like Lisa's saying, they're literally raising their hand, telling you that they are ready and willing and able to buy and sell. So, um, again, I think that people need to really be a little bit more. What's that saying? Being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Um, Because again, I think again the last few years have been a little cushy for some people, so they haven't had to really put in the work. So again, I think it really just comes down to confidence and just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The beautiful thing about working expired listings is the seller, the homeowner, has a measuring stick.
for sure.
So if you're good, if you've got swag, if you're confident in your game of being able to bring value working for that seller, then you're going to be able to show them how much value you have. You have an experience that didn't go so well. I can take you from here, what you were dealing with the last 3, 6, or 12 months, and bring you to here. I can get the job done for you. Here's how I'm going to do it.
Right.
And I love having a measuring stick. I enjoy that more than the seller knowing nothing. And just expecting that everybody's the same.
Right. And again, I think it boils down to questions too, like start asking them what they didn't like about the last agent or what they want more of. And then it makes your shtick even easier to then at least provide them what it is that they were lacking the first time around.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So in the comments, how many go the last 7 days? So, or the last like 7 to 10 days. So I want to go beyond. We're sitting here on January 3rd today.
It's the 3rd.
But let's definitely go into like December 28th. So the last 7 days ish, depending on when you're listening or watching this pod. And in the comments on YouTube, how many expired listings are in your MLS? I'd love to know how many expired opportunities. These are opportunities. Again, you don't have to pay 35, 25% for. How many of them are in your MLS? And then hit the thumbs up button if you're going to be joining myself, Tom Toole, and Danny Deals tomorrow, 4 to 6 live. Subscribe to this channel so you get the notification, or just go on the BAM YouTube and search under the live tab. You'll see the video there for the live expireds call that myself, Tom Toole, and Dan are going to be making just one after another. We're going to see how many we can get in 2 hours. See who
I just
who
looked
can
at my
set the most
hot sheet and
appointments.
I definitely have more expireds than I do new listings.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
oh yeah.
Yep.
They're out there, and
They're
so these are just relationships waiting for you to create and add value to. Hey guys, appreciate you checking out this episode of The Real Word. If you want the full episode, go over to the Broke Agent YouTube. That's where we're hosting the full podcast. If you want to continue to see the segments broken out and the short clips, stay right here on The Real Word YouTube.